Well, it's been a while since we've been here at Richmond Raceway in VOR and even in the real world in the IndyCar Series, but welcome anyway to Richmond, Virginia for round number 1, event number 1 of the inaugural VOR IndyNXT Series campaign. Just an exhibition series for this time around, but we'll have 2 exciting races coming up your way here on the VOR channel. Working solo today is myself, Julian Altena, controlling all the buttons and also the microphone, so this cannot go well. We've got a nice set of drivers here for these 2 40-lap sprint races here around the Richmond 3/4 of a mile oval. And it's going to be a very quick fire event here at Richmond. As I mentioned, 2 40-lap races, which will fly by. The time limit is set to 17 minutes, so very fast racing here around the Richmond Raceway. As qualifications are now underway, we can already hear cars on track, and apparently this is open qualifications now, so this is even better. As we bring in the timing towers here, all the cars running the Laurus at the moment. Of course, no manufacturers in IndyNXT. As Toby Deck leads the way at the moment with 1 minute and 50 seconds left on the clock. Very interesting that this is an open qualifier session, because I could swear I set it to 3 laps or 4 3 minutes or 4 laps, but either way, qualifications are here at the moment, as Pim van Gastel was up in the wall. I think it was actually, never mind, it was Anthony Heidsma. Or as some people call him, Antonio Heidsma. Got the sexy wall trip, logging laps here as well. Currently 4th quickest is Kyle Gretsch in his number 27 in the NXT car. So we'll dive into the important bits here for the race whilst qualifications are ongoing. Weather conditions at the moment, 43-degree track temperature. So that's quite warm. Look for the tires to degrade a little bit over the 40-lap run. I've driven this car myself here, and especially the right rear, not just here at Richmond, but anywhere else really on any oval, takes a really big beating. So controlling that right rear temperature and wear is going to be very important to success here at Richmond. A little bit more about the IndyNXT Exhibition Series. This will run as a morning warm-up, or a support race, if you will, for the VOR IndyCar Series, which of course will be racing here as well later on today at Richmond for a 300-lap, 225-mile race. Coverage of that will begin at 8 p.m. Central European Time, 7 p.m. UK time, and at 3 p.m. Eastern US time this week due to the time change over there. Jack James and Justin Prince will be on the call for that, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting one here for sure, as qualifications are now complete. So we're just a few seconds away from going through the starting lineup. But as mentioned, this is round 1 of 3 in the exhibition series here for the IndyNXT VOR Series. Richmond double, 2 40-lap races, and one of the most important things for this event here is race number 2 will see a race grid invert for the top 10 finishers of race 1. So that means the race results from race 1 will determine the starting lineup for race number 2, with the top 10 of course being inverted. So if you finish first in race 1, you start 10th. If you finish 10th in race 1, you start first in race number 2. So cars gridding up, and it is Toby Deck on the pole position in his Playmobil car racing method, Dallara Indy NXT IL15. Alongside him will be Nicolas Charpentier, so very good run by him. Nicolas is usually a midfielder in the VOR IndyCar Series. We've got Kyle Gretsch and Aman Lal on row number 2. Aman Lal will be the series organizer for a potential in the NXT series here, launching pretty soon, depending on how these races go. Brian Violas and Pim van Gastel make up row number 3. And then row number 4, we will have Sabos Muragni, Sebastian Kinder, who is making a start in the field here today, so good to see him there. Of course, Seb is one of the announcers for the IndyNXT iRacing Series, along with Jack James and myself being on the control board. Anthony Heidsma and Fyodor Dovchenko on row number 5. And then Nigel Stock is the 11th and final starter here of the day. So that is your lineup for race 1 here at Richmond. And we got 2 pace laps here before we go green. Just a reminder, tonight at 8 p.m. we got the 300 lap, 225 mile race at Richmond in the VOR IndyCar Series. Tomorrow we got the 29th running of the Indy 250 over in the International IndyCar League at 2:30 p.m. Central European time. That's due to the time change in America being a little bit funky. Then, of course, the next 2 weeks after that, we got Indy NXT iRacing Series action from St. Petersburg and Barber before VOR goes not to Sebring, but also to St. Petersburg. So, looks like I got some corrections to make on that graphic, but that is the upcoming schedule for the VOR channel. So pace car is in, and we are off and running here at Richmond for the first of 2 races as Toby Deck leads us to green. Aman Lal looking to the outside now of Kyle Gretsch. As we are 2, almost 3 wide here in the background. There's Sebastian Kinder rolling the high side as well of Anthony Heitzma. We got a car to the inside, that is, I believe, Muragni in the McLaren livery. As lap 1 is already complete. As we go 3 wide off the corner in turn 2, down the back straight. Muragni on the inside. Van Gastel up in the mix as well. As Heitzma slots in behind. And just a second ago, Kyle Gretsch has taken the lead. As we got more side-by-side running in the background. Oh, side-by-side for second place. Deck on the high side, Charpentier making the move back into second, which of course is where he started. Deck cutting down low to the inside. Great move off the corner here to get the inside for the next one. And it looks like he will pull it off, and indeed he does. Still side by side. So very exciting battle between those two at the moment. Aman Lal to the inside of Pim van Gastel for 5th place this battle for position. Not able to make a move just yet. And just wait for these tires to start wearing out, because that's when the driver's skill really starts to come forwards. It's Brian Violas now to the inside of Charpentier. Deck, of course, got that position a few moments ago. As now Violas gets up into the top 3. Pim van Gastel will look for the position as well right away. But not before Charpentier comes back to the inside here of the corner. Outside line really rolls a lot of momentum, and you can clearly see it too. Just want to go back to a little bit earlier. As this was Kyle Gretsch on the end of lap number 1. Setting up that move for the lead. They went to the inside and he got it pretty quickly. So back to live pictures. As Kyle does still lead the way. 2.5 seconds clear of Toby Deck, who is now starting to be reeled in by Brian Violas, who finally got the position properly on Charpentier. And now we're finally settling into that longer run. And you really will have to pay attention to the tire wear. I think we're already starting to see that with Toby Deck falling back from Gretsch. Gretsch, very much experienced with this IndyNXT car. He's been running a couple of races with this thing, and I think that experience is showing off as he just gained 2 tenths again on the last couple laps here over Toby Deck. So Gretsch out controlling the race. Of course, remember the reverse grid as Charpentier in the wall. He's going to lose a spot to Van Gastel and probably Aman Lal as well, who goes to the inside. Can Charpentier roll the high side? Oh, almost Brazilian cleared. Charpentier did Aman Lal, but luckily just gave him enough space. looking out the back of Aman Lal's car. And we've got some updated camera angles to show you guys as of today. Of course, this is the rear-facing camera, which hasn't really changed. This one has received a small height adjustment, of course, to be a little bit closer to the real thing on the real TV broadcast. The gyro cam has received a little bit of a zoom in. This camera has been made a little bit wider. And then this is the big one. This is mainly designed for the close quarters racing, especially here today, as that was a perfect look right there, as Aman Lal had to get out of it to not hit the wall. But he is working to set up Pim van Gastel here down the front straight, off of turn 4, getting to the inside for turn 1 here. Cuts low. Can he get the run off the corner? Not quite. He's going to have to sit behind for just a little bit longer. As Charpentier is having a look again here as well. As Pim van Gastel now to the inside of Brian Violas. And these guys continuing to drop lap time massively to the leader, Kyle Gretsch, who is absolutely running away with this thing at the moment as we close in on halfway. On board with Charpentier in the owned energy drink number 19, as Viola's rolling the top to defend from Lal. Lal still looking for the inside of Pim. And Pim is just doing what he needs to do, rolling that high side. Nigel Stock and Anthony Heidsma around in turn 4. That's the first yellow of the day. Let's take a look what happened here between those two drivers. Side by side in turn 1 here. Oh, Stock really cuts up a little bit on the exit of turn 2. Almost a precursor to what happens here. Stock slides up a little bit on exit, and Heidsma is there. And to be fair, they are going for the same piece of track, but that's no excuse. You gotta leave the space, guys, for each other. And that's an unfortunate end to the race for them. Taking another look here. And already rubbing wheels here a lap before, down the front straight. Ah, okay. So those two drivers getting a little bit upset with each other. Already, just a few moments before that, all happened and took off. And then out of turn 4, as mentioned here, Stock just moves up, and Heidsma tries to keep the car down low to pinch, and yeah, there's the contact. So, race 1 is over for those two. Meanwhile, though, Aman Lal stays out, and the rest of the field, led by Toby Deck, is in the pit lane. Toby Deck leads the way, and I think Viola's just beat out Kyle Gretsch, who had a slow stop. So Gretsch dominating early on, gonna lose that position, and actually does not. He was scored in front at the timing loop apparently, so Gretsch still loses 1 spot to Deck. But it's definitely workable from here. So Aman Lal now assumes the race lead. He's led a grand total of 2 laps so far today. Started 4th, currently 1st. Aman running the Indy NXT iRacing Series quite regularly, so good to see him up at the front. Toby Deck, of course, started from the pole. Currently running 2nd. And we will have to get that overlay changed up to Ardent Motorsports here, because he is very much a part of that team now. So he did remind me early in the week, but I just forgot to do it, so I apologize. But the big story of the day at the moment is Kyle Gretsch, who did start 3rd. Led for the majority of the way. But still runs in 3rd now. After that, yellow came out for Heidsma and Stock. So 17 laps to go. This is lap 24 of 40 in race number 1. Now do remember, we have a 17-minute time limit. So we've got 4 minutes, 55 seconds left on the clock. I do believe this race will be turned into a time race at the moment. With 17 to go. So we'll keep an eye out for the white flag as that comes along here in a couple of minutes. But lights on the pace car are out. And Aman Lau will lead the field to green.
Green, green, green.
And the green flag is out. We got Toby Deck blinking out a little bit, but we are back racing here at Richmond. And Charpentier immediately on the move as, oh, that was Heitzma shoving his way up the inside of Tabuz Mouragny. There's a piece of wing flying around there for him. So that's not going to be ideal for him. As Kyle Gretsch on the move to the inside of Deck. Washes up into the wall just slightly, but I think it was just a kiss. And he should be okay. As those two continue to run side by side for P2 now. Aman Lau running away with the lead. Already has a 2 3/4 of a lead into turn 3 on the second lap of the restart. As Deck tries to mirror drive Gretsch here to put some dirty air on the front wing of that number 27. Charpentier on the background as well on the inside of Kinder, the two Frenchmen. Oh, close racing there between those two at the back. As we continue to focus here on Deck and Gretsch, as Gretsch now finally to the inside. Oh, Kinder just almost got clipped by Charpentier off the exit of turn 4. As Dovchenko is in the McLaren liveried car. I identified that as... Oh! Accident off of turn 2, Gretsch and Deck.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
And the yellow is back out again as Violas moves up into second. Fyodor Dovchenko up into third. And that's the lucky break for Mouragny, but I don't know how much time we will have in race 1. Just 3.5 minutes to go on the clock. Oh, that's very unfortunate for those two drivers, of course. Battled for the lead very early on in the race. And yeah, Deck just washes up and... hate to say it, but... I think it's pretty clear whose fault that one was. So we get another look here, trying to get the chopper cam. We'll get a slow-mo here, and you can clearly see Deck washing up already. Gretsch leaves the inside open, and yeah, there's just no way. No way that those two were going to make it off the corner unscathed. And Fiola said, oh, a Pim on the inside. Just squeezed by. On board here with Sexy Wall Trip. And yeah, this one especially confirmed what I saw. And here's Pim threading the needle right behind Fiolas. And they make it through. Almost got taken out by Dovchenko as well on the top, by the way. Did Pim. So officially 10 laps on the board. Go, that is. But how much time we will have remains to be seen. So we have exactly 3 minutes, sorry, left on the clock for this race. So 10 laps, it's gonna cut it very close. Let's take a look what the fastest laps here are on the ticker. So 18-second laps, around a second within the same second of the IndyCar lap times, I was gonna say. So very impressive lap speeds. Of course, the IndyCar bigger power, a little bit less downforce, higher down the straight, higher top speed down the straights, excuse me. And the IndyNXT car a little bit less downforce, but lower power too, which means they can roll through the corner a lot nicer. And that's how they run similar lap times. But yeah, we will have 9 laps to go. 8 this time around at the start-finish line, and we will have 2 minutes left on the clock. So I think we're gonna finish 2 or 3 laps short, if I'm honest, of the distance. But of course, race number 2 coming up here shortly. Lights on the pace car are out. This is event number 1 of 3 in the IndyNXT exhibition season for the VOR IndyNXT Series. Depending on how these races go, you might see a fully fledged IndyNXT iRacing VOR Series organized by the man currently leading the race, Aman Lau. For those wondering, fixed iRacing setups are used here.
Green flag.
Green flag is out. We are back racing for the final shootout. Regardless of what happens with how many laps to go, the next flag will end the race due to the time limit. So Aman Lau leads the field to green and he sprints off into the distance because he knows what needs to be done. Sebastian Kinder looking for the position on Pim van Gastel. who is looking in turn for the position on Dovchenko for the podium. 3 wide off the corner. Kinder up high, Fagasso in the middle. And that's Muragni with a new front wing making hay. There he is up into the top 6. Or close to Fagasso off the corner there. Looking to the inside. 6 laps to go, officially on the board this time around. 1 minute and 50 seconds left on the clock. As Lau continues to lead. But the battles really are further behind, really from the 3rd place on back. Fyodor Dovchenko. Started 10th is the biggest move for here in the race so far. Not a regular driver in the VOR IndyCar Series, that's why he is denoted with the 9 in front of his usual racing number, 996 instead of 96. All the other drivers in the field so far today are all regulars in the IndyCar Series. As we have 4 laps to go, 1 minute on the clock. And everybody is spread out enough to the point I don't think we will see much action to the finish. Three laps to go. And I think we will just about get to the time limit. And finish it in time with 2 yellows. So 2 laps to go for Manlal. In what has been an impressive drive from 4th place on the grid. Of course, got a little bit lucky with the yellow that came out around halfway in the race, which kind of robbed Gretsch of the lead. Of course, he controlled the early stages of the race, but white flag in the air for Aman Lal. And he looks to claim race 1. Of course, he will start 10th in race 2. Fiolas will start 9th. Dovchenko will start 8th. But Aman Lal wins after 40 laps of racing at Richmond. And he is the inaugural winner here in the VOR Indy NXT Exhibition Series. Fiolas across the line in 2nd. Dovchenko 3rd. Great little race there. And I was just too late. I was about to show the results. But yeah, finishing 11th was Nigel Stock. Winning the race, Aman Lal, Brian Fiolas, and Dovchenko completing the podium. 4th place, Charpentier. 5th place, Pim van Gastel. Then 6th on back, we got Muragni, Heitzma, Kinder, Gretsch, and Dek, of course, who were all involved in that incident in the top 10. As we are gridding up for race number 2 here at Richmond. So on the pole, finishing 10th officially, of course crashed out in the first race, Toby Dek and Kyle Gretsch. And we love it when the starting grid graphic breaks itself. Here we go, race number 2. Let's try the starting grid one more time. We've got 2 pace laps to go. Toby Dek, Kyle Gretsch on the front row. Row number 2, it will be Sebastian Kinder and Anthony Heitzman. We're going to give up on the graphic. Got to figure out a way to fix that for the heat racing format, but either way, 1 lap to green this time around. Weather conditions for the race number 2 here, 45-degree track temp, so make that 46 now. So 3 degrees hotter than it was at the start of race number 1. So that shouldn't make much of a difference, maybe just a tick more tire wear. But I think we'll see the same level of action, of course, hopefully without the incidents down the back straight that we saw twice in that first race, as the field makes their way down the back straight. So pace car is off. Green flag is out once again, and we are racing for race number 2 here at Richmond. As Toby Deck immediately looking to the inside of Gretsch, and I think Gretsch is going to want to give a little bit more space this time around as the field makes it through turn number 1 cleanly. And right as I say that, Nigel stuck in the wall that might bring out the yellow. We stay green for now. As Kyle Gretsch sprints off into the distance once again, just like he did in round 1. Toby Deck slots into second. Nigel Stock having a tough day once again out of the race. And Aman Lau is on the move, rolling the high side. Let's go on board with him. Rolling the top on Viola's right there, making up one more spot up into P8. There he goes. Dovchenko on the high side now of Charpentier. This is for 6th and 7th. As Gretsch has a second lead already over Toby Deck. Heitzmaier slots into 3rd. Kinder 4th. Van Gastel completes the top 5. And behind them it's a real big battle for position 6, 7, 8 and 9. Viola's right there in the mix as well, going high. Saman Lau going high, sorry, excuse me. Looking out the nose cam of Brian Violas in the Team Watson Racing Setups 06. Lau to the inside now of Dovchenko. And Dovchenko, I think, is going to exercise some patience, realizing that Aman Lau is probably the faster driver at the moment. And lets him go. So Lau up into 7th place now as all the drivers cutting it very close to the wall on the exit of turn 2. You're gonna see that a lot more today, not just in this race, but also in the IndyCar race later on today. As we get ready for round 7 at Richmond tonight. Dovchenko falling back, losing another spot to Violas. Whoa! There was almost contact there off the corner between those two. And Dovchenko, I would imagine, is getting a little bit fed up with losing positions. As Lau continues to run that higher line. Very much at home right there, but it's not really making any ground on the drivers ahead. As Van Gastel now battling with Charpentier. Charpentier looking for that top 5 spot. And that attack immediately forces him into defense as Lau to the inside now of Charpentier, gonna pull off the pass off the corner. Aman Lau immediately moves to the high side to his preferred racing line. Kyle Gretsch though out in front. Has led all 10 completed laps today, make that 11 as he crosses the line with a 1.85 second gap to Toby Deck in 2nd place. I bet Kyle is happy to see Deck in his mirrors after that incident earlier on. Heitzma up into the 3rd position, of course, started forwards in race 2 after finishing at the back of race 1. And Sepp Kinder trading the microphone for the steering wheel for a change in the NXT. Doing a good job so far to slot into that 4th place. And Van Gastel completing that top 5 position. Here we go again. Aman Lau to the inside of Van Gastel for the 5th position. Oh, almost contact there off of turn 2. And Aman Lau, I think, had to take a bit of a breath there and let Tim go for just a second. Of course, a quick reminder tonight. Richmond 300 laps coming up at 8 p.m. Tomorrow, the 29th Indy 500 at 2:30 p.m. for the International IndyCar League. Then 2 straight weeks of IndyNXT iRacing Series on the channel at St. Pete and Barber. And then VOR on the 1st week of April. So Heitzma now starting to feel a little bit of pressure from Sebastian Kinder. As Lau in the background continues to work on Pim. Oh, Heidsma in the wall. That can't be good for the right front of that car. Let's take a quick peek on board here with him. And yeah, he already got out of it, but he just couldn't save it. So Heidsma now losing a spot. Actually, never mind, he did not. He was already been running third. But he was running second for just a little bit. But no position changes yet. Throughout the field, top 10. Only 10 cars running, but nonetheless, top 10 stays the same. As we are already halfway through into this second race here at Richmond. As Lau has a big run on Pim now. To the inside he goes. And he clears him. Can he slide up on exit? Yes, he can. Pim to the inside now. Looking to gain the spot back. Seb might be the deciding factor here in Aero washing Pim, and indeed he does. So Lol now up into the top 5. Pim losing that final top 5 position. And now a man with a big run on Seb as well, looking to size him up for another spot gain. To the inside he goes. Side by side running for the 4th spot now. On board with Seb. And I'm gonna make a really bad joke here. Seb really likes to croissant the corner up here. Cutting from a really high line to the inside. Aman Lau is really more of a banana guy. Making the corner as wide of a radius as he can to carry the most speed. And talk about that for analogies, bananas and croissants. But really exciting racing. Oh, as a man almost loses it again off of turn 2. He's been very exciting to watch so far today. But now there we got Seb on the high side, so let's see what he can do up the top, and he maintains the position for now. And I want to point out, Kyle Gretsch is absolutely running away with this thing. 4.5 seconds over Toby Deck. Almost the complete front straightaway is the distance from the leader to second place. "13 laps to go this time by. Closest battle on the racetrack is the one we've been following. Aman Lau on the move. Toshenko though, falling through the field still, and he is 8.5 seconds behind the leader. Frustrating day for him, despite getting that podium earlier on, of course. Was in a pretty solid position in the top 5 earlier on in the beginning of this one, and has just fallen back since. Heidsma though, holding up very nicely indeed with a damaged right front car of the car. Of course, we saw him hit the wall a few moments ago. But right as I say that, Sepp Kinder shoves his nose in there in the gap between Heidsma and the wall. And he's looking to create an opening for himself to get through into that podium spot. Ooh, as Heidsma washes up a little bit just in front of Seb. As we are on board from the shoulder of Pim van Gastel. And the right shoulders of the drivers are definitely making overtime here. As it's a very tricky and physical track here on iRacing, which sounds kind of weird to say, but it is true. Especially if you got a little bit of a higher end wheel. Even from the Moza R5 and up, I'm speaking from personal experience, it's a workout at Richmond. So based on that, I'm not really looking forward to getting in the car later on today myself. But it should be an exciting race, of course. 8 p.m. is when the broadcast starts. Howie Burrows on the control panel. Justin Prince and Jack James on the call for the race as Lal to the inside again. On Seb. And it looks like Aman is clearing him now. He could have moved up a little bit if he wanted to. And he's definitely clear now. So move Aman up into 4th place. 7 laps to go. He might just be running out of time for that final podium spot. Dovchenko and Viola side by side further on back as well. Viola's on the top, Dovchenko on the bottom. Car brushing the wall just in my ear. As Dovchenko moves up into the top 8. Finally a bit of light at the end of the tunnel for him. Whoa. Both Lal and Kinder very close to the wall on the exit of turn 2, but here is Kyle Gretsch. 3 laps to go for him in what has been a much better day for him. Part of the day at least for him in race number 2 today. Of course, got taken out in that first race. Through no fault of his own, it must be admitted as well. Nonetheless, Kyle Gretsch setting the pace here at Richmond. 2 laps to go. Charpentier and Dovchenko now side by side, looking for Dovchenko to finish in P7. But final lap here underway for Kyle Gretsch. And he has a 7-second lead, which is mightily impressive for a 40-lap run. Remember, these are just sprint races. So Kyle Gretsch across the line, he wins race 2 at Richmond. Toby Deck finishing 2nd. He'll be happy with that run to 2nd today. After that incident with Gretsch earlier in race 1. Heidsma completes the podium, so a double podium for Ardent Motorsports. Lal from 10th on the grid finishes 4th place. Seb Kinder with another very nice top 5 for him. Dovchenko did indeed beat Charpentier to the line. We'll take a quick look at that battle before we dive into the results. This will be the final 2 laps of the race. Down the back straight. Of course, that's Dovchenko on the inside. Charpentier on the outside. White flag for those 2 drivers now. And Charpentier running that high line. Doesn't quite get the momentum off the corner as he would have liked for turn 2 here. That just allows Dovchenko to get the inside. Dovchenko charges it in hard, gonna slide out just a little bit, and he edges a nose over Charpentier at the line. So here are your results for race 2 here at Richmond. Kyle Gretsch wins in front of Toby Deck. Anthony Heidsma completes the podium. Aman Lal, Sebastian Kinder, the top 5. Then we got Pim van Gastel, Fyodor Dovchenko, Nicolas Charpentier, Brian Violas, and Nigel Stock, the 10th and final starter for race 2. Sabos Mouragny did not take the green in race number 2. So let's take a quick look who we got there to talk to us. Looks like we got at least Kyle Gretsch up here, so we'll bring him in. Let's get a nice camera angle for him. Don't want to disrespect him by not getting a nice camera angle of his car at least. So we'll bring in Kyle, the sexy Waltrip, up into the VOR booth if I can make things to work. Hey Cal, congratulations on winning race number 2. We'll get to the elephant in the room first, though. Race number 1, your accident with Toby Deck off of turn 2. Talk us through that, and also your dominant drive in race 2.
Yeah, the race 1 wreck with Toby. I mean, that's just trying to figure out turn 2 in Richmond. I run a bunch of stock car stuff here, so I feel like you kind of know how constricting that corner is and how deceptive it is. And Toby put his hand up and apologized for it. It's just one of those situations where you get tight and kind of make contact. But yeah, race 2 is pretty easy. This is the first time I've really felt like running kind of like a stock car line has really helped. So I feel like just kind of running how I would run like Xfinity cars or whatever else kind of somehow managed to help me in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. You also have quite a bit of experience with this car, don't you?
No, actually, I've never driven this car. I have plenty of experience with this track. I live 15 minutes from here, but
oh,
yeah,
really?
This is my first time ever driving the NXT car in a race.
Well, then I gotta correct my own fact at the beginning of the show, because I thought you did plenty of racing in this car in other leagues and series. So I guess I gotta retract that statement then. Very impressive then. If this was your first time racing this thing, you did a very good job. Gotta apologize to you as well, by the way. We got the green overlay for you and not the red one with the Dex imaging car, so we'll fix that for the next one. But yeah, congratulations once again on your win in race 2. Feel free to send out any shoutouts.
Yeah, check out my YouTube channel. I'm out here streaming my dumb races if you want to check me out. We're going to probably start doing some more endurance stuff coming up here next season. I might pick I'm definitely going to try to run the DTM series, but I don't really know what else I'm going to run outside of that. Maybe some NXT series. I know you broadcast those. Not going to make those splits, but I don't know. We'll figure it out.
If you grind enough iRacing, I'm sure you'll get in there quite easily. All right. See you later. Actually, will we see you later on today in the race? Yeah, you had the stream scheduled as well. I saw that. So see you later on today, Kyle.
Yep. So yeah, legally, I think I have to run my home race.
Of course. Hopefully it's not me that's gonna push you into the wall tonight.
I'll push you in the wall.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. All right, see you, Kyle. Congratulations once again.
Deuces.
That was Kyle Gretsch. We'll bring in Toby Deck here second. Toby, hello to you. We gotta do this in English. It's a bit awkward for me, but congratulations on finishing second in race 2. Of course, the elephant in the room, that incident in the first race with Kyle. Talk us through that, and also your, I guess, defensive drive to second here in this one.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you repeat?
Yeah, sorry. We gotta do this one in English, my friend. Sorry, but the elephant in the room here, of course, race 1, the incident with Kyle Gretsch battling for the lead. Talk us through that, and also your defensive drive to second in this second race.
Well, in the first race, I had quite a good battle. I think I had a good race. Started from pole, and until the incident with Gretsch, which just was fully on me. It was just a misjudgment of space, which I had already apologized to, made up. Feel very bad to him, and in the feature race, like just a nice clean drive. Got a bit of help from Anthony from behind. That's really it. It was a quite comfortable drive. Had no chance against Carl, but felt nice.
It's a decent sign of improvement for you as well. So just keep on grinding in these races, and I'm sure pretty soon here in the IndyCar, the big car, you'll do quite well as well. If you would like, we're going to do something new here. You can say a little bit of a word in Dutch if you want.
Ja, leuk. Niet nodig.
Is helemaal goed. Hey, gefeliciteerd met je tweede plek, jongen.
Dankjewel.
With him on the spot there, speaking in his own language there, our own language. But we'll do the same to Anthony here when he gets in here. I wonder how he will react when I pop that question to him. Hey, Anthony, we gotta do this one in English to stay professional. Tell us about your second race. That was very eventful for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, really nothing happened there. So I tried to make my move in the first few laps on Toby, but yeah, I'm not taking out my teammate this time. So I thought, yeah, okay, we'll just keep it in third for now, and let's hope that I can keep this position. And I could, so that was pretty cool. Double podium for the team, so yeah, it was better than race 1.
Perfect. I put Toby on the spot. I'm going to do the same to you. If you would like, you can say something in Nederlands.
In Nederlands. Nou, gefeliciteerd aan mijn eigen team. Goede race gereden. Bedankt voor de tips, Pim. En volgende keer alle 3 op het podium.
Perfect. All right. Congrats and see you later.
Thank you.
All right. Those were the interviews. A little bit interesting to say the least, talking to 2 Dutch guys when you all speak the same language and you have to stay professional and do it in English. But nonetheless, very entertaining races here at Richmond. I think overall it was a pretty solid success. So I want to thank everyone who came out today. Of course, later on in the season, we got St. Petersburg coming up here for the Indy NXT Exhibition Series in 3 weeks from now at St. Petersburg, Florida. April 4th coverage from 4 p.m. Central European Summertime is the resumption of the Exhibition Series for the Indy NXT, which will be very interesting to say the least, with the new street circuit here on iRacing, which looks absolutely fantastic. So iRacing did a great job there. But of course also tonight we've got the second leg of the Richmond triple header, I suppose you can call. So technically it doesn't make it the third leg, second event. Either way, 300 laps of Richmond Raceway coming up your way here tonight at 8 p.m. Central European time. This is all before the time change for the European side of things. So coverage begins at 8, 3 p.m. Eastern US time that is, with the green flag flying roughly 5 minutes afterwards. So make sure to tune in tonight to Jack James, Justin Prince, and Howie Burrows on the control board for the Richmond 300, which is going to be just the second time ever we have raced at Richmond, the first one being in season 6 4 years ago. Whoa, time flies. So join us again in 3 weeks, for the second event of the IndyNXT Series, and of course later on tonight for the IndyCar Series around Richmond. Thanks everybody for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll be back for more soon. Thank you guys.